everyone. My name is Dr. David Kowalczyk. I work with Colorado Facial Plastic Surgery. We've designed a series of educational lecture videos which are short and hopefully provide some information about some of the common procedures that we do. We feel it's really important that patients understand the anatomy and some basic concepts behind the procedures to be an informed consumer. If you have any questions, concerns, or comments, feel free to leave them at the bottom of the video on our YouTube link. We would really appreciate it. Thank you. Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about open versus closed rhinoplasty and what the differences are between the two. Open rhinoplasty is one that we commonly implement here at Colorado Facial Plastic Surgery. So what are the pros of open rhinoplasty and what are the cons of rhinoplasty? The pros are it allows full exposure. You can really fix all of the problems associated with the nose. You can do what's called a structure approach to form a very solid and strong nose. And you can be very precise with what you do. The cons, well, there will be a scar on the outside of the skin of the nose. The swelling tends to be longer. The healing process is a little bit longer. And the surgeries also tend to take a little bit more time. So what do we mean by open rhinoplasty? Well, this is a very crude schematic of what goes on. The idea is that we make an incision on the inside of each nostril and then connect it with a small incision that's made on the columella or the underside of the nose. This tends to be the only scar unless nostril reduction is also being done. It tends to heal very well as also. What we do is we end up dissecting underneath the skin like this, raising up like the hood of a car to see everything that's underneath. What do we mean by things that are underneath? All the cartilages and the bone that we have previously talked about. So by raising up the skin and being able to see everything that's happening underneath the nose, we can really address just about any problem. So if the nose is too narrow or if it's twisted or crooked, we can break down the nose and end up putting grafts in place that help to straighten and provide structure to the nose. Most of the time we'll get the cartilage that's needed from that septum that we talked about in previous lectures. Cartilage is a good, strong source of material. You can see on the side view of the nose an idea of how some of those grafts may be put in place to help provide structure and support to the nose. So what are some of the pros and cons of closed rhinoplasty? The pros would be no incision on the outside of the skin. It's typically a faster surgery with less swelling in the postoperative period and a much quicker, easier recovery. Some of the cons, though, are no real direct visualization or very limited visualization. There's less precision because you don't have quite as much exposure and freedom of movement to execute some of the fine moves. So that leads to limitations on what can be fixed. This illustration shows the closed rhinoplasty approach. Incisions are made on the inside of the nostrils, and then the skin and tissues are raised up in a similar fashion, but there's less visualization because you don't have a complete cut allowing you to fully expose all of the underlying structures in the skin. This shows how instruments are often placed underneath and used by feel to remove certain imperfections and perform certain moves. Well, I thank you for your attention. I hope that you learned a little bit about the differences between open and closed rhinoplasty. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please leave them at the bottom.